after me. I don't give a...
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Sorry for the delay in getting the upload. I try to be on a schedule and it's been a little chaotic here this week. So I'm going to be responding today to VSG weight loss surgery, down 120 pounds. Gianna, I'm going to say her name wrong, Sciortino. So yeah, I'm going to be responding to that. Now, I had weight loss surgery, as you guys know. VSG or gastric sleeve was not an option back then. I had what's called a RNY or RNY, and I'll put graphics up to show you the difference from what most people are having now. RNY is still considered the gold standard. You'll see people like on 600 Pound Life. That's usually what the doctor tries to do. I had mine done open. So when my surgery was done, I had a scar from breastbone to pubic bone. They just were not doing laparoscopic procedures 19 years ago like that. It was very new. It was about the next year or so, it was becoming more common. So let's respond or react to this. I love these videos. I love these videos. Oh, she's gorgeous. Damn. That intro, girl. Nice. Ooh, booty bands. How perfect is that intro? Like, girl. Wow, I'm so impressed with that intro.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in today and welcome back to my channel. For some of you who are new to my channel, my name is Gianna Sciortino and today we will be talking about the VSG surgery. Please subscribe to my channel and give this video.
She's freaking adorable and I love her accent. She got a little bit, I don't know if it's Jersey, but so Italian. I freaking love it. It's adorable.
Give a thumbs up if you would like to see more weight loss content.
Okay, the vertical sleeve gastrectomy. So yes, this was not an option when I was having my surgery. I wish it was, because I wouldn't go back and change anything, even considering the complications I had. And Apollo is over here. I don't know if you guys can see him. It's okay.
So the VSG surgery is a surgery that removes most of your stomach and leaves just a little portion left. And with this surgery, you're full a lot faster. Many things.
Now here's the difference too. I don't know if she's about to say this. So the VSG, obviously, I think it's like 85% of the stomach that they remove. Now with the RNY, like again, I'll show the graphic on what's done. The RNY though, what happens for a lot of people is that things that are too high in fat, high in sugar, you'll end up with what's called dumping syndrome. And it sounds exactly like you think it sounds. And you end up in the bathroom on the toilet and your body just gets rid of it. Like it's horrible. You sweat. It's absolutely terrible. Now with the VSG, or the sleeve gastrectomy, that is not so much a problem, where you can still enjoy all your favorite foods, just not in the quantities that you could before.
Things that you need to go through before you actually get the surgery or you're approved for the surgery. So you have to be 18 years old and obese, and you have to make sure that your BMI is at least 40. So when I even thought about receiving the surgery, I was already 240 pounds and 5 foot.
She does not even look like the same person.
The first step that I took was to visit a surgeon that I was recommended to by different people, and actually my grandfather. He didn't get the sleeve, but he got a different weight loss surgery. You have to go through different examinations and tests before you're even approved.
So when I went through mine, my doctor did require a psychological, it didn't feel like a psych eval. It was several sessions with the psychologist, and for them to clear you and say, yeah, she's in the right state of mind. But I mean, they do obviously a bunch of blood work, and they check your heart, and they want to make sure that you're sound enough for surgery, so that you have the smallest chance of dying on the table.
For the surgery. So your qualification just depends on your surgeon and your insurance company. For me, it took 6 months because that's the period
It took me like 6 weeks to get approval.
that my insurance company gave me. I had to visit a nutritionist, a psychologist.
That's smart.
Different, health examinations.
I think that's really smart, and I think it's better because you are kind of weeding out the people who don't get it yet. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are people who aren't understanding that this is not a magic weight loss pill, tool, surgery. You still have to put the work in. You can still regain all the weight that you gained plus some. You can still be right back to super morbidly obese, and you've done it for nothing. So I think that's good.
These are things that most people need to do before they can receive the surgery. Once you get all these tests done, you're able to finally book your surgery. This was honestly like the most exciting part for me because it took 6 months of hard work and going to doctors often. I had to visit my surgeon once a month, just for a check-in. I was ready to take the next step and actually book my surgery.
Her editing's really nice.
The pre-op diet consists of...
Didn't have pre-op diet. I did not have a pre-op diet. I was just talking to someone, a friend of mine, whose wife is having this same surgery, and she's doing they're making her do a 14-day liquid diet before surgery, and I'm like, girl, when I got my approval, I had a series of final meals. My most infamous one was 12 chili cheese dogs from Der Wiener Schnitzel. Is that not disgusting? So there was no pre-op diet.
Mostly protein shakes and salad. The only liquids I was able to have was chicken broth and water, and of course the protein shakes. But I couldn't, add fruit in it. I couldn't have any types of fruit. I was able to have dry vegetables, but only certain types. And on my salad, I wasn't even allowed to have oil. I was only allowed to have vinegar. The reason why they do this is because they want to decrease the size of your liver. This way you're ready to go for surgery and it goes...
That totally makes sense. I mean, especially if you have a fatty liver, like that's totally a thing. So anyway, that makes sense to me, that if many people have non-alcoholic fatty liver prior to having surgery. So I didn't, but I know it's common.
Everyone handles the pre-op diet differently. I have friends that were literally going insane because they weren't used to eating that little. I really didn't get full just eating that because I wasn't really able to have, real protein. I only really had protein shakes. So, I wasn't going in.
I mean, in all honesty, okay, I understand what she's saying. Like, she said real protein. I was only allowed to have protein shakes. Protein shakes are real protein. I think she means like, chicken or steak or fish, like actual a meat,
Insane because, I had a goal to lose weight and I was so excited for the surgery. That's literally what kept me going because I knew my life was going to change and I just couldn't wait for it to happen.
That's the attitude you have to have. Like, okay, this is however long the pre-op diet is. My friends, it's 14 days. And you have to just tell yourself, like, no matter what, this is 14 days in your lifespan is nothing, and it's so worth it to make the sacrifice now, for this long-term gain.
This was my very first surgery I've ever received, so I was extremely nervous leading up to it. I kept on watching different videos from people that received it before, so I could literally mentally prepare myself.
See, YouTube didn't exist when I had my surgery. So we had support groups. We had weight loss support groups. And then there were there was like a class of us that had our surgeries, like, say I had mine in February of 2002. So there was the February 2002 group and so on. So we email support groups.
Myself for that day.
Good boy.
So the day of surgery, I woke up and I was less nervous than I thought I was going to be. I was just ready to get it done. I get to the hospital, I check in, they do all different tests on me again. They put me in a wheelchair, they roll me in the room, and I've never been so ready to get something done in my life. I was so excited. I wasn't nervous. When I woke up from surgery, I was very loopy. I didn't really know what was going on at first, but then little by little, I was waking up more and more, and I realized that I finally got the surgery done. It was
Okay, sorry it took me so long. I just really wanted to hear her. Mine was 19 years ago, so it's really hard. I have a few memories of it. I mean, and I was such a fast healer. I had it done, and usually, especially because mine was done open, usually it's 3 days you're in the hospital. And I was discharged the next day. I was ready to go. I was walking around. I was fine. I was on very minimal pain medicine. I did really well. And I remember, I had mine done in Phoenix, Arizona. And at the time I was living in Tucson, Arizona. I was the first surgery of the day. So I had to be at the hospital at 6 o'clock in the morning. So we had to get up and leave the house at like 3:30 in the morning to drive up there and check in and everything. So, yeah. And I feel the same way. I was just ready. I was like excited. It wasn't like I was going in for surgery like when I had my total knee replacement. Like I was crying, getting wheeled back. You know, I knew it was going to be horrible. And like I've had plastic surgery, and it was kind of the same feeling when I had my weight loss surgery. It was like I was so excited. This is going to change my life, and this is like was stoked. So definitely there was a different vibe.
It was a moment that I would never forget because, you know, it was very scary putting myself in that situation. For those 6 months, like, I was literally nervous about that day. I was in a lot of pain.
I wasn't.
I had to keep on taking pain medicine because my stomach was...
I had no problem. I actually had the surgery on a Monday. And the next, I believe it was a Monday. I have to look it up. It's February 12th, 2002. But I was back to work that next Monday, back to work. So I had no problem going back to work. I didn't have drains or anything. I was fine.
Hurting me a lot. But the pain is something that, you know, obviously went away. I had to start walking. Walking was very difficult for me at first. I was just in so much pain, and it was weird. Like, I had to, like, reteach myself to walk. But the thing is, like, once you start walking after surgery, that's the only thing that's going to get yourself going. And your whole body's going to start getting stronger once you...
And you better get up and start walking. You're going to get a blood clot, and that's going to kill you. That's true. You know, so they make you get up and walk. And then they put those... they look like leg sleeves that go on, and it's compression that they keep on. You got to sleep with them on to keep the blood circulating and just everything moving to avoid blood clots.
To start walking, and when you wake up a couple hours later, they're going to try to make you drink little sips of water. So they give you a little measuring cup of water, and every hour you're supposed to drink 4. And if you don't complete...
I didn't have to do that. They brought in little Jello shots. They literally looked like Jello shots. Jello and broth and water. Now, when I woke up the next day, I immediately had to do a barium swallow test. They wanted to make sure that there were no leaks or anything. That was horrible trying to get that down, like the next day. Yeah. The day after surgery was just like, I just remember them having to drink that garbage. It stinks. Now it's still hard for me. Like, it was miserable.
That task, then you have to stay at the hospital because you're not healthy enough to go home. I stayed at the hospital one night. Most people stay at the hospital one night, but if you're not ready to go home, then it could be more. When you're getting the surgery done, they fill you up with air. And
you have to fart before you can leave. It's true.
I wish I'd known this before the surgery because literally, like, I had so much gas. My stomach, like, I had so much stomach.
So I didn't have that because they fill you up with air when you have it done laparoscopically because they're separating so they can get the tools in there and see around. So I had mine done open. They didn't have to fill me up with air because they just cut me open and everything was there. So when you have things done laparoscopically, I've had laparoscopic surgeries, and I've had my gallbladder removed, and then I had a tubal ligation and a partial hysterectomy. And I remember I could not leave until I farted, and it was just like, are you kidding me right now? Like, and then one nurse on one of my surgeries was like, I have to be here when you fart. What? Like...
Because, you know, know, like you should bring Gas X or something that's gonna help you relieve yourself because the pain was insane from just gas. So something that I saw a lot when I was watching videos before my surgery was the fact that people regretted their surgery right after. And you go through this like phase of regret because of
I've never regretted it, even though I had complications, late stage surgical complications, and late stage was 15 years later. I don't regret any of it.
going through. You know, like why couldn't I just lose the weight on my own? Like why did I have to put myself through this? And that's something that I mentally prepared myself for. And I even had that phase of regret for a few days because it's hard to get yourself going. But once you do get yourself going, I'm telling you, it's going to be the best decision that you've made your whole entire life.
Yeah, I have to agree with her. Like, I don't know anybody who ever felt that way. I don't know if the RNY folks are different than the VSG folks, but I never felt that way.
Once you get home from the hospital, they want you to walk as much as possible. You're going to have stomach pains. You might be hunched over a little bit. In terms of your diet now, your post-op diet is going to be different than your pre-op diet. For the first 3 days, I was only allowed to drink chicken broth. I wasn't really that hungry, honestly, because they shrunk my...
Yeah, I remember my diet too was like chicken broth or like bouillon, Jello. Oh, and yogurt. I was allowed to have yogurt. And I think I was allowed to have shakes. I was allowed to have protein shakes, but it's only been recently that I've found a protein shake that I can tolerate. The rest of them all made me throw up.
Stomach. It was hard actually to get down the broth and the water, but as I kept drinking, it was easier and it felt less uncomfortable. After those 3 days of just having broth and water, you're finally able to have protein shakes. I was having protein shakes for about 2 weeks.
See, things are a lot different between VSG and RNY, because after like 3 days, I was allowed to have soft-boiled eggs. I do remember that because it tasted like the best thing I'd ever had in my life.
And then from there, I was allowed to have puree foods. So some of the puree foods that I ate were hummus, guacamole, cottage cheese, and then later on, you're allowed to have soft foods, and then harder foods, and then like 3 months after that, you're allowed to have like...
I want to say I was back to a normal-ish diet within 6 weeks.
like lettuce. So with that being said, that also depends on your surgeon because I know different people that have, you know, different diets than me, but that's just like the overall diet that most surgeons give. My recovery lasted about 2 weeks until I was like...
Okay, so everybody's different. I feel like your pain tolerance is different. Hello. Your pain tolerance is different. I mean, I know someone who had their surgery the month after I did. He had his laparoscopically, and he was down for like 4 weeks. So it's all about... I mean, it is all just about your own your own pain tolerance, your own body, how you handle things. It's all, everybody's different.
Myself again. I was able to walk a lot better after 3 days, I would say. Each day I got stronger and stronger. I would wake up in the morning and take a walk around the block. And the next day I would take a walk around the block.
That's what I did. I just went further and further. I remember at first I could only get to my mailbox and back.
And then an extra block. And then each day I kept on walking more and more. I got my body going. I was drinking more water. And that is what, you know, was getting me stronger. You need to really make sure you're drinking your water because if you don't drink enough water, you are going to get constipated.
That's a good time. Constipation. So my doctor highly recommended taking like Colace, 2 of them at night, like for the rest of your life, like as a supplement. For me now at 150 pounds and as much as I train, I have to, about 1.5 gallons is right for me. Everyone's different depending on how big you are, your workout load, your training load. Everybody's different. So you kind of figure it out. But everybody usually says 2 liters of water.
And that is not a good feeling because I myself got really constipated because I thought I was drinking enough water, wasn't. And when you have those protein shakes and you're not, drinking water in between, that causes constipation. So I didn't go number 2 for about 2 weeks. And when I finally did, I was in.
Did she say she didn't poop for 2 weeks? Okay, number 1, that's awful. But number 2, number 2, but number 2, you can end up in the hospital having surgery for not pooping. It can kill you, literally can kill you. Wow, 2 weeks.
So much pain, and I don't want you to go through the same thing I did, so please drink your water. So I actually started seeing my results before my weight loss surgery when they put me on the pre-op diet. I think I lost like 12 pounds in those 2 weeks, because honestly, I was really only drinking shakes and having lettuce, so the weight was coming off, and that's when I was getting really excited. Then after my surgery, I kept on seeing results, to lose
I mean, yeah, you get up every morning and you get on the scale and you've lost weight. It's highly motivating. So, you hear a lot of people talk about, you lose weight slower, you're going to keep it off. There's actually studies that have shown that rapid weight loss is very motivating, and that they still have the same longevity results losing it fast as far as keeping it off. So, I mean, look at me. I lost 100 pounds in 5 months, So I had my 185 pounds off in the first year, so.
like a pound a day. The first month I lost 22 pounds because I was really not eating a lot and eating mostly protein. A lot of people don't necessarily lose weight at first, but they'll lose inches.
So that's interesting to me too, because I know someone who had gastric sleeve, and I could not understand how you have weight loss surgery and you're not dropping weight. Like I said, for me, it was 1 pound to 2 pounds a day the first 3 months. I do not understand how someone can have weight loss surgery and you're not losing weight the first month. And I know someone that happened to, and I was like, what are you doing? That makes no sense to me. I don't understand that.
And then the next week they'll lose 5 pounds in 2 days because the weight finally came off. So don't get discouraged. If you follow the guidelines of the surgery and you're very serious about it, you're going to see results. With that being said, the surgery is not a quick fix. It's a lot of hard work. I've been exercising as soon as I was able to. I make sure I have my protein.
What was that?
I don't overeat or make myself throw up, because that will happen. If you overeat, you're gonna make yourself throw up, and there's no point of.
I knew a dummy who had the same surgery I had, and he went and got a McDonald's sausage McMuffin. Like within 3 weeks of having the surgery, and he promptly vomited. And especially in those early months after the surgery, it hurts so freaking bad to vomit. And they don't want you to do that. You can tear your staple line. You tear that out, you could bleed out. Don't be dumb. If you're gonna have the surgery, do what they say.
Even having the surgery at that point, because you're not gonna lose the weight that you want to. Thank you so much for tuning in today and watching this video. I really hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions about something that I didn't mention, I would love to help you out, so please message me. My Instagram is GI_SCIORTINO. On Instagram, you can actually see my surgery from start to finish, before I got the surgery and how I'm doing now. This video was just an overview of my experience with the VSG surgery, so there are many topics that I didn't really go into, so please feel free to ask me any questions, and I'd love to make more videos about it. Be sure to subscribe, comment, like it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Okay, she's adorable. How freaking cute is she? Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to go check her Instagram out, because just the thing she popped up looks like she's looking really good. I mean, her intro was super good. I'm jealous, Justice, of her intro. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions for me about my surgery, my experience, let me know. I'm an open book. I love answering your guys' questions. Again, thank you so much for being here. I have a couple of things in the works. Tomorrow, I am getting my final tattoo for my World War II sleeve. It's going to be here. It's Rosie the Riveter. And if you guys know how obsessed I am with Helly Trevino, she is very gracious, and she always answers me back on Instagram, and she sent me pictures to reference because Rosie is going to have Helly's arms and Helly's face, but red hair. So I'm super excited for that tomorrow. There is something else going on in my life that I'm vlogging right now, and once that is all resolved, then I will post it. So anyway, thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
You repeat that,